Now, normally in these rebooking videos, I usually try to stay on track of history, but this time we are going to be mixing up history on the road to WrestleMania 27. In this video, we're going to be rebooking the 2011 40-man first and only Royal Rumble match. Recently, we've rebooked the 2002 Royal Rumble match and also fantasy booked this year's men's and women's Rumble match, so go check those out over on the channel. Now, like I said, I'm going to be changing up some of the things that happened at WrestleMania 27, some of the directions I think they should have gone, and some alternate ones at that, and that is going to play hand in hand with how we book this Royal Rumble matchup. And don't get me wrong, the real-life 2011 Rumble has some good moments. I just think it could have been done better, especially the final stretch. I remember everybody thought Triple H was going to return at number 40, and then Kane came out, and it was like, okay, well, that was a flat ending. But nonetheless, we're going to try our hand at it today. Number 1 to number 40, all the entries in between. Let's get into this video. So just like the 2002 video I did, you might see a few parallels between my Rumble as well as the real life Rumble, but for the most part, I've rebooked this entire thing. However, we do kick off with one of those parallels. So at entrance number 1 as well as number 2, we're going to kick things off with CM Punk, the leader of the New Nexus, as well as the United States champion at that time, Daniel Bryan. This is a 1 and 2 that I absolutely loved about the 2011 Royal Rumble, so no reason to change that there. I thought it was a great start to the match. So Punk and Bryan going to start things out. Gonna go right into number 3 pretty hot though. You know, in the real life Rumble, you're kind of getting, you know, basically some jobbers out there, some guys who were going in and out. And really like the first like 15 people, minus a couple, but for the most part, a lot of jobbers since it was the 40-man Royal Rumble matchup. So we're trying to really spread out the talent throughout this 40-man Rumble. So at number 3, we have the former World Heavyweight Champion, just lost his title a month before the Rumble, and we just mentioned him at the top of this video, the Big Red Machine, Kane, who again, entered at number 40 in real life, but we're going number 3 in our Rumble. So hot start, Punk, Bryan, and now the former World Champion, one of the top guys of SmackDown at that time. We have Kane. Coming in at number 4, we have Yoshi Tatsu, who remembers Yoshi Tatsu? If you don't, go watch some Yoshi Tatsu matches. Go watch the 2011 Royal Rumble. But Yoshi Tatsu, who was, you know, just a superstar's mainstay at that time, going to come in at number 4, and obviously not last too long. Kane going to quickly eliminate Yoshi Tatsu, to no surprise. And Kane's really just going to be dominating the ring, dominating Punk, dominating Bryan, not eliminating them just yet, excuse me, but definitely eliminating Yoshi Tatsu. Coming in at number 5, we have Chavo Guerrero, who unfortunately is going to suffer the same exact fate. Maybe he can get a little shine in the real life match. He comes in there and hits like 3 or 4 guys with the 3 amigos. Chavo has a little moment upon his entry. Maybe he could still do that to Punk and Bryan, but ultimately choke slam, Kane picks him up, throws him right out. Kane dominating the ring. At number 6, the New Nexus gonna start to make their way out there. CM Punk's already in there, but he needs his soldier. So at number 6, the late and great Husky Harris gonna make his way down there. Of course, him and Punk gonna try to team up. Not really gonna work out. Kane gonna lay them both out as well, continuing his dominance in the ring. Number 7, we have Zack Ryder, who was like right on the cusp of just taking over the WWE universe. This is like around the time where his YouTube channel was just starting and popping off. So Zack Ryder at number 7, gonna come in there, House of Fire, and I would love to see, so I wrote it in here, Zack Ryder get a little offense, knocking Kane down in the corner, hitting a little woo woo woo, and then the broski boot, Ryder eyeing up Kane for a Rough Rider, but gets stopped in his tracks, another choke slam, Kane eliminates Zack Ryder. So 3 eliminations for Kane out of the first 7 entries. So Kane, the former world champion, continuing to dominate the ring. Number 8 arrives, and it is the return of The Undertaker. The Undertaker, who we have not seen since the Bragging Rights pay-per-view, I believe was in October, right before Survivor Series in 2010, where Undertaker was buried alive in a matchup versus Kane. Also had help of the Nexus on that night, but obviously Taker coming back in the middle of this Rumble and gonna target the man he was feuding with at that time, his brother, if you will, of destruction, that being Kane. Kane is obviously gonna be in just absolute disbelief thought he'd never see his brother again. And you know, I know we're putting a little fantasy here. Obviously, The Undertaker's pretty beat up in 2011, came back, worked WrestleMania 27. That was it. But, like, suspending a little disbelief. And plus, as you'll see as we continue to book this thing, Taker's not really going to get too much, like, he's not going to be going in there and taking and bumping and feeding for people, you know what I mean? Like, he's going to come in there, he's going to have this showdown with the Big Red Machine, Kane. Not going to throw fists just yet. They're going to go face to face. Kane, obviously in shock, like I said, going to come to terms, again, head to head with his brother. Before they can even start throwing hands, they are interrupted by the number 9 entry, Santino Marella, who, of course, was the runner-up in the 2011 Royal Rumble matchup. But Santino, obviously, going to be frightened walking down the aisle. 2 years prior, was eliminated in technically 1 second or 2 seconds, whatever it was, by Kane. But Santino getting back in the Rumble matchup. Little hesitant at first, pretty frightened as Taker and Kane are awaiting him. But Santino, going to give us that good comedy. Going to psych himself up in the aisleway. Be like, you know, I got this. So Santino psychs himself up, charges in the ring, right at Undertaker and Kane, who both choke him, hit a double choke slam. Santino gonna roll to the outside for a few moments. Will he make it to the end just like he did in real life? Stay tuned to find out. Kane goes after the Undertaker, couple of right hands, gets the better of him for a moment, but Undertaker gonna fire right back, start unloading on Kane. Kane is up against the ropes. Undertaker gonna run, clothesline, and Undertaker eliminates his brother Kane, stopping the dominance of the Big Red Machine early on in the Rumble. So a nice little story there for your first 9 entrants. Undertaker returns for the first time since being taken out by his brother Kane, eliminated from the Royal Rumble. And then we're going to round off 1/4 of this matchup thus far. Another new Nexus member, Michael McGillicuddy, aka eventually Curtis Axel. So the new Nexus, now we got Michael McGillicuddy, Husky Harris, and CM Punk in the ring. They're going to team up. They're going to target The Undertaker and basically allow The Undertaker to take a nap for a couple minutes. Because again, it's fantasy, but realistic. You know, I know The Undertaker's not coming in here and going coast to coast. Spoiler alert, but Undertaker's going to get a nice little nap for a few minutes. And CM Punk and the new Nexus going to turn their sights to Daniel Bryan, where unfortunately the United States champion Daniel Bryan is eliminated by CM Punk. The new Nexus standing tall, looking at a just lifeless Undertaker body. Santino drags himself back in the ring, basically in a delusional state after he got double chokeslam. Again, psyching himself up. He's going to throw up the fist. CM Punk's just going to basically laugh at Santino, and then Santino's going to say, all right, I'm going to pull out my heavy hitter. Santino Marella hits the Cobra on CM Punk, one of the most devastating finishers in professional wrestling history. Husky Harris, Michael McGillicuddy going to jump Santino. Just beat him down for a few moments until Santino's tag team partner at the time, if you remember or not, Vladimir Kozlov makes the save at number 11. Kozlov going to charge the ring. You know, in my fantasy world, going to do exactly what he did in real life and just demolish CM Punk with a boot right to the chest. It's absolutely hilarious every time I watch it. And the way he runs down the aisle is just hilarious. But Kozlov and Santino going to team up, try to hold their own. But obviously, you know, the Nexus has still got the numbers. And their numbers are going to continue because at number 12, we have David Otunga of the Nexus. I was going to say wife of who, but I forget. Jennifer Hudson? Is that who David Otunga was married to? Is married to? I don't know. They used to mention it all the time, but big afterthought. David Otunga enters at number 5. The Nexus beat down on Kozlov and Santino, allowing CM Punk to throw both of those men out. CM Punk racking up some eliminations for himself in the 40-man Royal Rumble matchup. So you can see some parallels between my booking and the real life one as well. The Nexus really starting to dominate, of course, with Santino and Kozlov out of here. That now leaves the Undertaker to battle the new Nexus alone. Before they can start beating down the Undertaker again, number 13 enters, and that is going to be the Great Khali. Khali, you know, I'm pretty sure he eliminated Husky Harris, I want to say. He eliminated one of the Nexus members in the real life Royal Rumble, but Khali going to come in there, maybe throw a couple chops, maybe a boot or something like that. And, you know, actually get some offense in until the final Nexus member, that being Mason Ryan, the guy everybody was dubbing as the next Batista back in 2011. Once CM Punk split off from the Nexus, I think that was the last we saw of Mason. I don't remember the last time he was on television after that. But they were tag team champs at one point. Punk and Mason, were they tag team champs? I don't know, or I think they were challenging for the gold. Completely irrelevant here. Mason Ryan. You know what? Shout out to anybody who remembers Mason Ryan. But Mason Ryan coming in there at number 14. So the Nexus complete, and the Nexus going to eliminate the Great Khali. All 5 members, Ryan, Otunga, Harris, McGillicuddy, and of course the leader CM Punk in the ring, surrounding the dead man, The Undertaker. Undertaker finally going to get to his feet, standing in the middle of the ring all alone. But right before the Nexus strikes, number 15 arrives, and it is the return of the game, Triple H. So obviously, business just picked up. All attention is going to turn towards the game. Triple H and Undertaker obviously going to stand off with all 5 members of the Nexus, realizing like we got to team up or we're screwed. The brawl ensues. Triple H is going to eliminate Mason Ryan as well as Husky Harris. I figured I'd give the 2 bigger guys to Triple H since the Undertaker was a little fragile at this time. And Undertaker can eliminate Michael McGillicuddy and David Otunga. Not that it matters, but that was legitimately my thought when I wrote that down. So Triple H eliminates Ryan and Husky. Undertaker eliminates Michael McGillicuddy and David Otunga. Triple H, pedigree to CM Punk. And now that the Nexus domination has kind of calmed down, Triple H now going to realize it's me and Taker in the ring. And they're going to go face to face, standing off with each other. And just like Taker and Kane got interrupted, this stare down going to get interrupted as well at number 16, Ted DiBiase Jr., who was pretty much irrelevant by this point, at least was on his way to be if he wasn't already. But he was in the Rumble, so I kept him in this field. DiBiase going to run in, immediately get decked by Triple H. Undertaker, choke slam. Maybe he doesn't even need to choke slam him, but, you know, I just threw that detail in there. Picks him up, eliminates him. DiBiase in and out, courtesy of The Undertaker. Undertaker's near the ropes. Before he can turn around, Triple H dumps him out and eliminates the dead man from the Royal Rumble matchup. Taker going to stand up at ringside and now staring at Triple H, a little pissed off. So the seeds have officially been planted for their WrestleMania 27 matchup, just in a little bit of a different way than it happened in real life. Undertaker makes his return in the Rumble, so does Triple H. Triple H eliminates The Undertaker. At number 17, we have the man who went on to win the real-life Royal Rumble matchup in 2011, that being SmackDown's Alberto Del Rio, entering at number 17. And of course, he's taking his time walking down the aisle, just like he kind of did in real life. And Undertaker just going to deck him in the aisleway. Kind of like how Undertaker just laid out Scotty 2 Hotty in 2002 while he was walking to the ring. Basically that, but with Alberto Del Rio. So Del Rio is just going to get laid out in the aisleway for a few moments. So Taker's gone. We are left to CM Punk and Triple H in the ring. Del Rio will find his way eventually. Jack Swagger, former world champion, going to enter at number 18. Going to start to get some bodies in the Royal Rumble match now. William Regal, I believe he was on Raw at the time, enters number 19. The Big Show, one of the top guys on SmackDown in 2010-2011, entering at number 20. And Big Show going to eliminate William Regal. Number 21, that is Raw's Sheamus. I believe it was King Sheamus at the time, rocking the King of the Ring gimmick. But of course, business picking up a little bit because who was the guy who put Triple H on the shelf in 2010? That was Sheamus. And the only thing they really followed up with that in real life was Triple H powerbomb, or not powerbomb, and I think he pedigreed Sheamus through the announce table on an episode of Raw on the way to WrestleMania, and that was about all the follow-up we got. But with Triple H in the ring, Sheamus enters at number 21. Obviously, they're going to start brawling immediately. No eliminations, though. Just going to revisit that history. Wrestled at WrestleMania 26 as well. Number 22, we have Kofi Kingston from Friday Night SmackDown. At number 23, we have a surprising return of Diesel. You knew I was going to keep Diesel in this thing. You didn't think I was going to rebook this thing and not have one of the best surprises, maybe in Rumble history. I mean, this was a big moment back in 2011. Diesel in the Rumble at number 23. Diesel's going to lay out Kofi, lay out Swagger, take a swing at Sheamus as well. Diesel's kind of ruling house until, of course, he's going to come in confrontation with his Clique brethren, Triple H. And Triple H is going to have that face kind of like, what are you doing here? But also like cool to see, like a very confused face. But before either of them could even act, Big Show going to get involved. Big Show and Diesel square off. They throw a few hands. Diesel gets Big Show a little bit weary up against the ropes, so Big Show's kind of leaning a little bit. Diesel trying to eliminate him. Big Show chokes Diesel, tries to pull him over. Both men teetering on the rope. Triple H comes up and throws them both out. Using their own momentum, Triple H eliminates both Diesel and the Big Show from this matchup. Not there for long, but served their purpose. So Triple H getting another big elimination in this thing. As Triple H up against the ropes, back turn just like the Undertaker, Sheamus going to come from behind and eliminate the game. Once again, Sheamus sticking it to Triple H. And Triple H is absolutely furious. Obviously, a little bit more in the tank than the Undertaker did. He's going to get back in the ring and lay out Sheamus with a pedigree. Not going to eliminate him, but just out of fury, kind of getting the last laugh in that Rumble. Triple H going to get eliminated by Sheamus, roll back in the ring, lay Sheamus out with a pedigree, and peace out for that night. I believe it was in Boston. Triple H eliminated by Sheamus. All right, so entering at number 24, the Core. Who remembers the Core? They had a great theme song. I might listen to it back when I'm done recording. The Core gonna start making their way into the Rumble as Justin Gabriel enters at number 24. Chris Masters enters at number 25. Heath Slater, also from the Core, enters at number 26. All SmackDown superstars, followed by another SmackDown superstar, that being Rey Mysterio, entering at lucky number 27, former Rumble match winner himself. Mysterio going to come in a House of Fire, eliminating his old rival from the previous summer, that being Jack Swagger. Mysterio going to hit Sheamus with a 619, and then is attacked from behind by Alberto Del Rio, who finally decides to get in the ring and get into some action ever since he was struck by The Undertaker upon walking down the aisleway. Del Rio going to lay out Mysterio. Chris Masters goes after Del Rio, tries to lock in the Master Lock. Del Rio counters, eliminates Chris Masters from the Royal Rumble match. So now Del Rio basically has been in here for what at this point? A good, I don't have the sheet in front of me like you guys do. I have notes instead. A good 10 entrants or something like that. Del Rio came in at number 17. Literally, okay, 10 entrants. I was right on the money. Had to run back on my notes real quick. But Del Rio eliminates Chris Masters for the first time in the Rumble. He's standing tall like he's been in the whole time, doing all this work, full of confidence, just like he always was, until number 28 arrives. And that is the return. A lot of returns tonight, but it's the 40-man Rumble. Go big or go home. Of Christian, who was put on the shelf by Alberto Del Rio, I believe, back in September or October of 2010. I forget the exact date on that. But, of course, Christian in real life came back at the Elimination Chamber, was alongside Del Rio, or I should say alongside Edge at WrestleMania, but didn't participate. Not really my ideal situation. So Christian going to return at number 28, target the man who injured him back in the fall in Alberto Del Rio. The brawl's going to go on for a few minutes. Christian goes for the kill switch. Del Rio counters. Del Rio goes for the step up enziguri. Christian ducks. Christian grabs Del Rio and quickly throws him over the top rope. So Alberto Del Rio in this fantasy booking, not going to WrestleMania. As you can see, like I said, rewriting a little bit of history for the better. Not because it's a F Del Rio thing, even though I'm not the biggest fan of him, for obviously multiple reasons, but it wasn't, in my opinion, the way they should have gone in 2011, and in my 2024 perspective, not the way they should have gone either. So Christian eliminates Alberto Del Rio. So number 29, we have another core member, that being Wade Barrett, who of course is going to team up with Heath Slater and Justin Gabriel, and with the help of the core, Wade Barrett is going to eliminate some of SmackDown's top babyfaces in Kofi Kingston, as well as Rey Mysterio. So now it's the Core's matchup. Everybody's kind of picking up steam. Everybody's getting their moment to take over and dominate, but it's not lasting long. Somebody's coming in there to spoil the day. And in this case, Wade Barrett, the ghost of the past, coming back to haunt him. At number 30 of 40, John Cena arrives. John Cena going to come in a House of Fire, obviously, and Cena going to eliminate Heath Slater as well as Justin Gabriel. Cena going to square off with Wade Barrett. They're going to brawl for a few moments until the final member of the core, Ezekiel Jackson, another guy who had a phenomenal theme song, enters at number 31, and of course kind of evens the score for the core. So Wade Barrett still in. Wade Barrett and Ezekiel Jackson, still in. But Heath Slater and Justin Gabriel hitting the showers, courtesy of John Cena. At number 32, Drew McIntyre, the chosen one himself. At number 33, again, you think I kept in Diesel. You think I was going to take out this man? Booker T arrives at number 33. I feel like some of the best moments from the 2011 Rumble in real life were like the first half, even though Diesel doesn't show up till like a little bit late, but still, that's just me. Nonetheless, Booker T was a huge moment as well. So we're going to save that one for a little bit at the end. Plus, we have a lot of returns, as you can see. Taker, Triple H, Christian, Diesel, now Booker T. Got to spread them out a little bit. So Booker T going to come in on fire, just like he did in real life, hitting all his signature moves. Scissors kick, bookend, the leg lariat, all that stuff. Booker going to take a second, hit the spinner Rooney, because you got to hit the spinner Rooney. And then CM Punk going to come from behind and throw out Booker T. CM Punk was real hot early, kind of slowed down a little bit when the ring started to fill up. Punk still a game changer in the ring and going to eliminate Booker T from the matchup. But, Booker coming in, great performance, obviously. Ring going to start to fill up a little bit. Well, not at this point. I shouldn't have said that yet. Nonetheless, Tyson Kidd in at number 34, but quickly eliminated by John Cena. Not going to be in there for a good time or a long time. Tyson Kidd in and out. Got to have a few of those eliminations in every Rumble. R-Truth in at number 35. Alex Riley, A-Rye, in at number 36. And no, he is not going to be accidentally eliminated in this match like he was in real life. But, he's not fucking winning the thing. Spoiler alert, sorry. But Alex Riley in at number 36. Of course, accompanied by the WWE Champion, The Miz. Riley going to go right after one of the biggest targets to The Miz's WWE title. That being John Cena. Riley going to square off with him a little bit, but Cena going to lay him out with an attitude adjustment. Number 37, we have Mark Henry. Number 38, this is where the ring starts to fill up. At number 38, we have John Morrison. At number 39, we have Dolph Ziggler, who just fell short in his pursuit of winning the world title earlier that night to Edge. Dolph Ziggler going to come in and eliminate R-Truth as well as Mark Henry, from this matchup. And now we are down to number 40, which will be the Apex Predator, Randy Orton. You probably thought, because I said that thing about Triple H and Kane at the top of this video, that there was going to be a big surprise return at number 40. I'm not saying that. I said this in my fantasy booking of this year's Rumble. You guys can go check out that video. The last spot in the Rumble should either go to a return / debut, even though it's usually just returns, or one of the hottest baby faces in the company. Because when, just a heel, especially a heel that, not a lot of people care about, comes out last in the Rumble, it's like, ugh, all right. Kane came out at number 40 here. No, Big Show, I think he came out at number 30 in the 2009 Rumble. Might be wrong about that. Or maybe it was 2012, or maybe both. I don't know. It's just all right. That's how we're going to end. So, either hot baby face or return is always my way to go for the last spot in the Rumble. So, Orton going to come out last at number 40. Orton obviously going to go into RKO spree. And Randy Orton is going to be the one who eliminates Alex Riley from this matchup. But Randy Orton also going to eliminate big old Ezekiel Jackson as well as Drew McIntyre. We can have a few moments go by here. Let Orton obviously get some work in that matchup. Orton's going to go for a RKO on Wade Barrett. Wade Barrett going to reverse. Barrett's going to drop Randy Orton with a big boot, only for John Cena to come from behind and hit him with an attitude adjustment. John Cena eliminates Wade Barrett. John Cena just continuing to be the kryptonite to Wade Barrett's career back then. So Cena eliminates Wade Barrett. John Cena going to turn around, get dropped with an RKO by Randy Orton. And as Orton's getting up from that RKO, Alex Riley runs back in the ring, goes after Orton. Orton drops him once again with an RKO, only for The Miz to come from behind and eliminate Randy Orton. So a little bit of role reversal here. In real life, it was John Cena getting thrown out by The Miz. Here, Randy Orton's getting thrown out by The Miz. And I'll explain why when we finish up the Rumble match. But as you can see, we are down to the final 6. CM Punk, Sheamus, Christian, John Cena, John Morrison, and Dolph Ziggler, all upper mid-carders, all main eventers, one way or another for that time period. I mean, John Morrison, maybe the least person, like, out of all these guys, like, in 2011, but, like, I think it was January 1st or the first Raw of 2011, he fought The Miz for the WWE title, so, like, Morrison was always on that brink back then, so I think when you look at this from a 2011 perspective, you got a pretty stacked field as the final six, and definitely some legitimate winners in there. John Morrison can definitely have his spot, whether it's here or earlier on when he entered, where he saves himself and, you know, jumps from the barricade to the steps. Can absolutely do that. He was doing it for a couple years, or maybe it was just this one, until he got released or just wasn't in Rumble matches anymore, and then Kofi Kingston took the role. But Morrison can have his spot here, but ultimately he is going to be eliminated by Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler, the Canadians are going to be his kryptonite on this night in the Royal Rumble. Lost to Edge earlier in the night, and Christian is going to be the one who eliminates Dolph Ziggler just moments after Ziggler eliminates John Morrison. So that leaves us with 4: CM Punk, Sheamus, and John Cena from Monday Night Raw. Christian from Friday Night SmackDown. Punk and Christian going to pair off, and Cena and Sheamus going to pair off after this final 4. John Cena going to eliminate Sheamus from the matchup. And here's where you can kind of go either way. But looking at this from a 2011 perspective, I'm going, what match maybe needs the Rumble a little bit more? And really, you can make either, again, argument. This is just the way I decided to go. Cena eliminates Sheamus. CM Punk eliminates Christian from the matchup, leaving us with CM Punk and John Cena as the final 2 men in the 2011 40-man match, where CM Punk ultimately eliminates John Cena to win the Royal Rumble match. Now, the reason I went with Punk and Cena as the final 2 and Punk winning is because, as you saw, Miz going to eliminate Randy Orton. I would completely shake up the WrestleMania card in terms of those handful of main events. I would go Miz and Orton non-title instead of Orton and Punk non-title. Orton and Miz non-title. Miz loses the WWE title in the Elimination Chamber matchup to John Cena, and just as Cena came up short to Punk in the Rumble, now they both find themselves in the main event of WrestleMania 27, as it should have been. Punk, Rumble match winner, Cena, WWE champion, in the main event of WrestleMania 27. If you want The Rock involved in the finish, by all means, do whatever you want, but that is how I'd switch up those matches for WrestleMania 27. I'd go Punk and Cena for the title, or the Miz non-title. You may notice Cody Rhodes was not in this matchup, as he wasn't in real life, because the story with Rey Mysterio is beginning to play out. They were selling up the fact that Cody had a broken face from Rey Mysterio's 619 with the exposed knee brace. I would definitely still go Cody versus Rey at Mania 27. Obviously, Triple H and Undertaker, I set that up in this matchup, so we're still going for that for Atlanta, Georgia. And instead of Edge versus Del Rio, the match should have been Edge and Christian at WrestleMania 27. And not just because it ended up being Edge's final match for that time, because we didn't know that yet, but, like, it was just the match. And then Del Rio was like, oh, well, the WWE is Del Rio, so now Del Rio's going to get the spot, and Christian's going to be in the corner of Edge. Like, people were saying it then. I'm looking at it now, saying the same thing. It should have been Christian and Edge for the world title. And this is how I would do it. Christian can go. Instead of Edge successfully defending his world title in the Elimination Chamber, we can have a number 1 contenders one, and Christian can win that and move on to fight Edge at WrestleMania. Maybe it's Christian and Del Rio in the final 2, where Christian pins Del Rio, or something like that. But going back in time, that is how I would rebook the 2011 40-man Royal Rumble matchup. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Go check out the 2002 one I posted recently here on the channel, and go check out my fantasy bookings of the 2024 men's and women's Royal Rumble matchup before this year's event this Saturday night. Thank you guys for checking out this video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Peace.